Hello friends, welcome to Leuva Productions. Today we are going to talk about EQ, and EQ is a short form of equalizer. For this particular video, I am using XR18 mixer, but you can use any mixer of XR family and you can follow the steps in this video to get the detailed understanding on EQ. EQ will change how your voice or instrument sounds on the output devices. So, before we start messing around with the EQ and the settings, we need to understand the basic concepts and some fundamentals of equalizer. EQ is like salt in your kitchen, and there is only one simple rule for the EQ. Less is always good and too much will ruin your dish. You should not use EQ just because it's available on every single channel. You should use EQ only if it is required. You should avoid setting the EQ by itself on any particular channel. Set the EQ along with the band or the karaoke track and you will see the difference, how it works with and without the band or the music. EQ has different settings for male and female singers based on their vocal characteristics. So, one size fits all does not apply when it comes to the EQ for the male and female singers. Alright, so let's get started and have some real fun. I have a microphone connected on channel number 13 that is labeled as Studio, and I will use the same microphone for the demo of equalizer on this video. Right now, my channel number 13 is selected and I am on the mixer tab. You can see here this rectangle with the aqua color, and that is the indication of EQ. The aqua color border indicates that the EQ is on for that particular channel, and when there is no border, it indicates that the EQ is off. You can click on any particular rectangle here and it will take you to the EQ of that particular channel. So right now I am on channel number 13, but if I click on channel number 7 here, it will select the channel number 7 and I will see the EQ for channel number 7. And if I go back to the 13, Studio will be selected here, that is the label, and this is the EQ for the channel number 13. You can equalize any of your channel here. So you simply select the channel, go to the EQ and you can equalize the channel. Same thing with the aux, even the effects. All the 4 effects you can equalize, and you can also equalize your main left and right at the end that is going to the output. The EQ section for main left and right is a little different and we will talk about it soon in this video. I will go back to the channel number 13 or the Studio, and here now we have to talk about the EQ section here. You can click on the EQ button here and it will turn off or it will turn on your EQ. So right now the EQ is on. I can click here and it will be turned off. I will click on the EQ and I will turn it on. The 4 bands, low, low mid, and high, they are color coded and they are here numbered 1, 2, 3 and 4. And you can see the color code matching here with every single band. With each band, you have the option of mode, gain, frequency and quality or the Q factor. In the mode, you have the option of using low cut, low shelf, parametric EQ, vintage EQ, high shelf and high cut. In general, you should use the low cut and low shelf towards the low band of frequency, so low or low mid, and for the high band frequency, you should rather use the high shelf or high cut. Parametric and vintage EQ you can use on any particular band here. I will go ahead and I will increase the high band of the frequency on the EQ. I will go little beyond the limit, like I will exaggerate. In real life, we don't really equalize this much. But now that I have increased the high band of the EQ, you can hear a good amount of a hiss and the crisp in my tone or in my voice in the recording. The values that you change here, like dragging to the left or right or up or down, accordingly you will see the difference in these values here for the high band. And this indicates that you have boosted the 7 kHz frequency at the Q factor of 2 using the high shelf, and you have boosted it by 15 decibel. And same settings you will see here, the gain 15, frequency and the quality factor or the Q factor. When you have chosen some changes on any particular band, so right now the high band of the frequency, here if I want to retain these settings but only temporarily, if I want to turn off this particular frequency band, I can click on the power button here and it will reset the high band of the frequency to its original position but it will still remember the settings here. So if I turn it on again, it will remember the previous setting and you will see the frequency in effect again here. And if you want to entirely reset it back to the original setting, the one that was in the beginning, you can click on the reset button here, and now the effect will be gone and it will not remember the previous setting now. I will go back and I will increase the high frequency here a little bit. And next is the high mid. When you increase this, it will make your sound little nasal, and if you want to remove that nasal sound, you can reduce that frequency or you can cut it down. So anything below the 0 reference line here, that will cut down the frequency, and you will see accordingly the change here, the -7 dB. And when you go above the reference line, it will be plus dB, it will be boosting that particular frequency. Low mid. When I increase the low mid frequency here, you will realize that now the sound has become pretty much boxy. And if you want to remove that effect, you can reduce this or you can cut it down and go negative, and accordingly you can achieve your desired results. I'll reduce the high a little bit because it's too much hiss in my voice. And next is the low band. If I increase this at a certain frequency, it will add a good amount of bass in my voice, and now you can see that a decent amount of bass, but that doesn't really look the natural. It has been added to my voice. And to cut it down, you can bring this frequency down and you can cut the bass as per your requirement. I will go ahead and I will add the low cut frequency as well, and I will drag it here. I will increase the bass somewhere around here. I will bring it at some unrealistic levels. I just want to show one more feature here. So this is my EQ right now. If I go back to the mixer, you will see the similar graph here on the EQ square, and that is an indication that your EQ is on, or this is the graph of your EQ. It gives you some sort of like a miniature version of the graph. I can click here again. I can go back to the EQ and I will reset the equalizer. You can see that when I reset the equalizer, it only affects the 4 bands. The low cut filter is not affected by the reset button of the EQ. You will have to do it explicitly and separately if you want to turn it on or off, or if you want to change the frequency. In the EQ section, we still have to talk about quality or the Q factor and RTA, pre and spec options. Just to make sure that this video doesn't go too long, I want to cover quality and RTA separately in my next videos right after this particular video, and I will include both of these options in those videos in very detail. Earlier in this video, we did see that we can apply EQ to every single channel here, including effects and to the main left and right. When it comes to the EQ for the main left and right, you can see that you have a 4-band equalizer here as opposed to the 4-band equalizer for the other channels. And you also have the option of parametric EQ, graphical EQ, and TEQ. With the graphical EQ, you have option of specified frequencies only. So for example, 4K and 5K here. If you want to change any particular frequency in between 4 and 5K, you don't have that precise control here. But if you go to the parametric EQ, you have a full-fledged facility in your hands right now. You can precisely control a specific frequency and you can change it accordingly. So in case if you plan to use the EQ on main left and right for any reason, I will suggest using the parametric EQ and have a better and precise control. Alright, so I will go back to the studio channel here, and after all this conversation, you may have a question, what is the right setting of EQ? And believe me, there is nothing right or wrong. It depends and it changes on individual person's characteristics. In general, I will say I have a quick channel preset that I will show you, and I will cover these channel presets in a separate video. So in general, I will keep this particular setting for the male singer or lead singer, and as per the requirement, I will add the low cut filter and I will keep changing that particular value based on individual lead singer. And as I said earlier, don't overdo anything in the EQ. Less is good and too much will ruin your dish. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a great day.